The question for me is, will he fold those hands if I shove? Well, we're about to find out.
I'm all in. Wow.
Yeah. I shove and get snapped by the one combo of pocket aces available. Oops.
This is all connected.
There is one goal for today. Just one. Not to bluff my stack into quads. That's it. Win, lose, whatever. Don't bluff into quads. Let's go. So upon leaving the house and heading to the Bellagio, I literally had one thing in my head. Don't bluff into quads. That's literally it, and yes, that was a serious thought. Obviously, I want to play well and win heaps and all that jazz, but if I lose, I lose. I've lost before, and I'll lose again. Whatever. Just don't bluff into quads again. At least not in back-to-back sessions. The WSOP energy is still in the room, and it doesn't take me too long to get a seat. I win the first hand I play just by opening preflop with ace-jack of diamonds, so I'm trending upwards and putting the bluffed into quads tragedy behind me. I mean, it was just one hand in one random session. It's not like tragedy is going to befall me every time I play. Oh no. It's too soon for this guy. I've only been here 5 minutes. Action has folded around to the cutoff and he opens for $30. I have this horrid hand, yes, but at least I have the button. I 3-bet to $100 and the cutoff comes along. Let's just flop good for once here. Silly thought. Queen 3-3. He checks and I check it back. The turn brings the deuce of diamonds and we both check again. The river 9 of spades falls, and this is where he decides to bet $150. Wide range spot preflop, and still holding wide ranges on the river means he could just be betting anything here. I know I would. Folding here is an option, but not the one I chose. Instead, I call to keep him honest and lose this one to pocket eights. Probably a little too sticky here. I'm doing a giveaway where one lucky viewer will get 3 months of their car payment paid for. So all you have to do is scan the QR code, sign up, that's it. You're entered for a chance to win this giveaway. Imagine pulling up to the poker room with your car payment handled. That's different. Shoulders back, confidence high. I mean, you'll still probably fold the best hand on the river, but at least your Camry is handled. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's watch me attempt to make financially responsible decisions at a poker table, which is already a comedy. No worries. I've lost a pot before. This is no big deal. The session has just started. I'm sure the next hand I play will... You've got to be kidding me. I'm under the gun, so legally, I have to open, and I do so. I make it $30 and the player next to act makes it $100. Oh, here we go. Luckily for me, I have another rebuy in my pocket because there's quite a line for chips at the window. However, before action gets back to me, the big blind decides the wagering isn't yet high enough. He makes it $340. The cold 4-bet out of position 200 big blinds deep? That's my excuse to cut my losses with this one.
Waiting for this moment. It's the day I'm gonna seize it. It's electric in the building. The sound of thunder, I can feel it. Shocking the system. We're on a mission to make the world listen. give them something to believe in.
In the very next hand, I'm the big blind, and blind versus blind spots are always interesting. Here, the small blind opens for $30, and looking down at 3-6 offsuit, a quick fold is probably the best course of action. But this is my money, and I'll do whatever the hell I want. I call. 6, 7, 8 rainbow. He checks, and this board is pretty decent for my calling range. Not as decent as it would be in an early position versus late position configuration, but decent enough. I continue for $40, and he folds. Really, the only reason I'm even showing this hand is to kind of wash the ace-king offsuit vibes off of my editing timeline. This one begins with the cutoff opening to $30. Looking down at an ace not accompanied by an offsuit king, I'm more than happy to defend my big blind. Heads up. Ace, ace, queen. Quite the flop for my hand. My villain? I know. He's one of these traveling reg euros that's here for 3 months at a clip. C-bets damn near 100%, so I end up check racing this guy a lot. I might be giving away too much with that last sentence, but who cares? The C-bet comes for $20, and if I'm going to check raise him here with pocket sevens, I'm definitely doing it now. I check raise small to $60, hoping that he has enough to continue, but not enough that I'm coolered. But he has neither. In this next one, I open king-queen offsuit from early position to $30, and the only action I get is from the big blind. I don't know the big blind, but from what I've seen, he folds rivers if he doesn't have it. We go to the flop and see monotone ace, deuce, 8. This isn't the best board for me. No pair, no heart, no nothing. He checks, and I toss out a small c-bet, hoping
15.
that this ends this whole affair. But it doesn't. If there was any card that could help, the turn isn't it. He checks again. Now I'm just trying to lean into getting him to fold. That's basically my only hope. I bet $60, and he calls again. The river 9 of diamonds is, yep, nothing. He checks again. I rely on my read on him and bet $100, and he folds. In hindsight, I hate my river sizing, but this time, it worked.
I've been through the storm, I've been through the rain. Nothing's gonna stand or get in my way. I won't break my stride, I won't lose my grip. I was born for the rough, born with grit. I'm making moves, I'm breaking through. I'm making moves. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. Just watch me move. Just watch me move. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. Just watch me move. I was built to last. You can't bring me down. Put my feet and run on this solid ground. Rugged, tough terrain. Always find my way. 1 step, 2 step, 3 seize the day. I'm making moves. I'm breaking through. I'm making moves.
Oh God, no. Things were just starting to look up. Then I look at this monstrosity from the small blind. Yuck. 3-bet incoming. I make it $140 over the cutoff's $30 open, and he continues. Jack 4-6 rainbow, because of course that's the flop. What else could it be? I continue as the out of position 3-better for about half pot, and that doesn't shake the cutoff loose either. The slimmest of hope appears when the 10 of clubs hits the turn, and I slow down now. Pocket jacks and 10s and other made hands are a big part of his calling range, and he isn't overly aggressive to where I need to worry about him turning king queen of diamonds or something of that ilk into a bluff, and I'd enjoy the free card. But I don't get the free card. He fires $280, and at that price point, I just can't continue with maybe only 4 clean outs. Thanks, ace-king offsuit. An open of $30 and a call in front of me, and defending the big blind with king-8 of clubs, totally reasonable. 3 of us head to the flop. 3-9-6 with 1 club. I'm not mad here. I'm not joyous either, just kinda meh. It checks through. The turn 7 of clubs, though, that changes things drastically. 1 over, second nut flush draw, and a straight draw gives me a lot to celebrate here. I come with $40 and get action only from the cutoff. The 4 of clubs brings in that flush draw, and I aim for a bit over half pot with my river bet, and get called very quickly, but still drag this one. My session up until this point was kinda rocky. I started down, then got up a little bit, then dipped, and was kind of leveling out when this next hand begins with the under the gun player opening the $30 and the hijack flatting. Looking down at 10-9 suited from the big blind, I was about 99% sure I was going to squeeze versus these 2 villains when the small blind beats me to it by 3-betting to $170. I ponder my options a bit. The cold 4-bet is out the window, but my hand this deep feels kinda nice. The concern is the under the gun player 4-betting me if I flat. I roll the dice and just decide to flat the $170. And see a surprising fold from the under the gun player, but the hijack comes along. What happens next is the stuff of dreams. Queen, Jack, 8 with 2 spades. The small blind, who had been relatively tight previously, doesn't appear to like this board at all, as he follows his pre-flop 3-bet with a check. This opens the door for me. I continue for $250, hoping to keep at least one of my 2 villains around. The hijack folds almost immediately, but after some thought, the small blind comes along. I pretty quickly rule out the small blind having a set, and he probably doesn't have aces or kings either due to that extended tank time. Ace-king, maybe? I'm blocking 9s and 10s, so those are less likely. The turn 3 of diamonds keeps my life clean. He checks again. I probably should have continued smaller here than what I did in real time. $450 feels cleaner, because my $800 bet even sounded too big as the words were coming out of my mouth. Although there was a short tank, the small blind finds the fold. In the very next hand, action is folded around to that same player, now on the button. He opens to $30, and I forfeit my $5 from the small blind with ace-5 offsuit. So now we're even. I won 1, and he won 1. And then the very next hand after that, the cutoff opens to $40, and I look down at aces. Well, I'm on a roll now. His larger opening size lets me 3-bet larger as well. I make it $120, and when action gets back to him, he calls. He slips the 10-high board over to me, and I see 0 threats here. I say $170, and he damn near beats me into the pot. 170. He then checks the 4 of clubs turn, and I get a little sneaky here, probably unnecessarily, and check this back. It's hard to get 3 streets of value with aces, but if there was any board villain combination I could have done it was this one with him. So this check was probably not the best line. The river king of diamonds doesn't bother me either. He checks for the 3rd time, and I find 1 purple $500 chip and toss that into the middle. He reaches for his chips and calls me again almost instantly. I put my aces on their back, kick myself for not betting the turn, and drag this pot. Just watch me move. One step, 2 step, 3 step. Just watch me move. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, go. Ain't no
stopping me, watch me roll. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, go.
What, 170?
Ain't no stopping me, watch me roll. I'm making moves. I'm breaking the rules. I'm making moves. Step, 2 step, 3 step, just watch me move.
After that bomb pot, I was just kind of dealt out of the game for 45 minutes before I found another playable hand. Pocket jacks from the hijack seems more than enough to open, and after I do, I get 3-bet from the button to $100. I choose the path of just calling and go to the flop heads up. Pretty benign flop in 10-3-3, and I check to the raiser who fires a c-bet for $90. A check raise here is plausible, and I've check raised this player a lot. But here, I just choose to call. I hate the turn. Hate the turn. I check again. He grabs a barrel of orange and slides them forward. $200. This could be a bluff leaning on that ace hitting his 3-betting range a lot, or it could be value. But with the road to victory looking gloomier here, I just let this one go. About 5 minutes or so pass, and I decide to open 9-8 of spades from under the gun to $30 and get calls from both the cutoff and the button. This one goes 3 ways to a flop of 9-deuce-3 with 1 spade. I continue for $30 into both of them, and the cutoff now raises to $120. The button folds. There aren't any 2-pair combinations here. I'm blocking a set. I do have top pair and spades possibly working, so I call the extra $80. I'm not mad at the king of spades falling on the turn, giving me the always powerful 9-high flush draw. I check, and our villain now ramps up the sizing to $250. I'm wondering now if he just flatted aces preflop. With middle pair and the flush draw trying its best to come in, I call again. The river pairing the king isn't what I wanted to see. I check again with little hope to win unless he checks back something like queen jack of spades. But he checks and turns over pocket jacks for the win. Nice hand. Nice hand. My last hour or so of this session was a big nothing at all. I did win a few pots pre-flop, but that was about it. I didn't bluff my stack into quads though, so overall, I accomplished my goal.
Just watch me move. One step, 2 step, 3 step. Just watch me move. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, go.
Okay, first things first. I did not bluff my stack off into quads. That's a win. Second, I ended up about this much, even with losing a decent sized pot there at the end. And third thing, I don't know why I don't take my hoodie off before I come outside, because it's literally 110 degrees out here. So I'm gonna get this off, I'm gonna get this hat off, I'm gonna get in this car, and I'm gonna go home. So if you like the vlogs, leave me a comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll catch you next time.